Alright, welcome back to another video. In this video, I would like to talk about why this knife was a step forward, but also a step backwards. So before we get into that, I want to show you some footage of me doing a lot of filing and handwork on the handle. So let's jump into that. Okay, so let's first go on about why this is a step backwards. This knife is a step backwards because some gapping appeared, and that happened while I was gluing it up. When I glued it up, the curly maple got pushed up somehow, and which pushed the ebony and pushed the copper up, and then I got a gapping there and some gapping here. But this gapping here is filled with glue, but not here, so that's unfortunate. But I didn't see the gap happening because it was sitting in the vise like this, and there's barely any gapping on this side. So I looked on this side, good. So I walked away and let it dry, and then I saw it after. So, and the second thing that makes it a step backwards was I didn't make sure while filing all this up, I didn't make sure it was nice and tight all the way through the handle. Because when I started sanding into it, more gapping started to appear. I didn't make sure it was tight all the way through. So that's a lesson learned there. Why is it a step forward? Well, because I did a multi-part handle. So what I have is maple burl, curly maple, ebony, and then copper. So this is something I wanted to try. I wanted to push myself forward, see how well I would do, and I'm happy with it. I'm pleasantly surprised. Just the gapping. Like, also trying this using no guard, just kind of integrating it into the handle material. That was also something new I hadn't done before. So I like that. I made the butt end a little bit bigger, put a point on it instead of rounding it right at the bottom, right there. So what I did, this probably would have ended up a lot better if I had a bandsaw. So I don't have a bandsaw, so what I did was I drilled all holes to make that V on the handle material, and then I just broke them out, hammered them out. I had to file it smooth. So while I was filing, probably what happened is if I would go in on an angle like that, or I'd go out or wherever, I'd make a couple angle cuts here and there that weren't supposed to be there. And then, yeah, when I sanded into the handle material after it was all glued up, that's when I started seeing those gaps. So that's unfortunate, but it's a lesson learned, and I'm glad I learned it, so I know for next time. Now, when the first problem arose, most people, well, maybe not most people, but some people would just start over. I think it's a good idea to finish it. One, because you can learn from other problems and mistakes that happen through making this blade. And another thing is, it may turn out better than you think, but if I'm halfway through a blade and like something major happens, I'm not going to try to fix it if it's so bad to the point maybe where it's not even fixable. But I mean, if it's small mistakes, I want to keep working through it and finish the blade, because there's a possibility that I learned something on the way that I wouldn't have learned by starting over. It was a really enjoyable build, but also a build that tests your patience. And I think that's something you really need when you're making stuff. And I had it like a couple times now. People say they look at my knives and they really like them, and then they say, "Oh, I don't have the patience for that." So, and I think something like this really tests your patience and makes you, decide whether you keep doing this or not. So, and I like to finish my projects, and if I know they're gonna end up with a small mistake at the end, I will still finish it just so that I get the opportunity to learn more, because something else may arise during this project that I may learn that I would have not if I just stopped and started over again. And there's always a friend or family member that will look at it and be like, "Yeah, that's fine." And some of them even offer to buy one off of you. I had it a few times. Something was wrong with one of them. They're like, "Yeah, no, that doesn't bother me." And they're like, "Does it cut?" I was like, "Yeah." And then they're happy. As long as it cuts, they're happy. But with that being said, I wouldn't sell this to a stranger. So that's why I want to make sure before I start selling knives to people I don't know, I really want to make sure my craft is perfected. I really want to be hard on myself for this, because this is like an art. So step forward, learn lots about making a multi-part handle like this. Step backwards, all those lessons I learned that I just mentioned. So I don't know, I like it, but I also don't like it. So if I have a friend that wants it, I'd probably sell it for just to cover materials, and that's about it. So if someone wants it, a friend wants it, then I'll make a sheath for it, and they'll get them to pay for materials. What do you guys think? Would you sell this? Or would you buy it? Some people say I'm too hard on myself. I don't think so. I think that makes it better. Well, anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Get out there and work hard and make something.